Okay, YouTube, what is going on? We got another one by Chibi Reviews. Chief Anime Director breaks down after production failure of 100 Girlfriends Season 2. What is going on? This animation is supposed to come out this season. What is going on? I wanted to give a reaction to it. So let's see what Chibi Reviews is saying about this anime. Let's check it out.
100 Girlfriends anime's character designer Akane Yano breaks down on Twitter saying, "Tears won't stop and I can't draw," and then says the countdown of despair has begun, implying that the production conditions behind the scenes are very bad. And if you click on this links to like the Twitter post where this was posted, and if you take a look at the timestamps, it was basically yesterday when this happened, and some of the tweets, which I have, actually posted on my post earlier today, was late, last night as well for this actual character designer that's working.
Yeah, a Blue Lock event is happening with 100 Girlfriends. I can already tell.
100 Girlfriends Season 2.
Mm,
So, let's talk about this. Well,
it's
let's
gonna
be
be
honest.
crazy.
This isn't the first time we have seen, animators, speak out about poor conditions at the workplace for these different animation studios. I mean, Mappa is a very good example, but
Mappa.
obviously
Yeah, imagine Mappa has the best like IPs out there in the world, but they don't take time. I don't know what happens. That's the one thing. I'm wondering what happens in these studios for them to release such poor quality animation all of a sudden. They will have the best IPs, a great season 1, but when it comes to season 2 or season 3, things get a little bit rocky. You can see here that okay, this is a bit rocky. So, dude, it's just upsetting to hear that this one 100 Girlfriends is gonna be crazy. So let's just, man, I don't know.
it's not just Mappa, in this situation right here basically showcases that. It's not just, let's say, a Studio Mappa issue, it is a just sweeping industry problem with animators being mistreated, overused to the point to where they just don't want to work in the industry anymore. And then, these actual bigwigs, these CEOs, these higher-ups, they wonder to themselves, like, why is there such a shortage of animators? They wonder to themselves, like, why are we not getting enough animators for our different studios? Why are we having to outsource our products so much to China or Korea or different places around the world just to be able to get an anime episode out? Well, this is one of those big reasons. When you mistreat your employees, you mistreat the people that work for your company so much, eventually you're going to scare people off. They're either going to stop working for you, they're going to tell people through word of mouth that, you're just a very bad company.
Yeah. Classic Mappa. Sounds like a whole Mappa situation. Sounds like what's happened with Blue Lock, Outsourcing, mismanagement. Not, I don't know, dude. Even though they can have all the money in the world, these companies, I don't know what happens sometimes, bro. Once it goes to season 2, the passion, the time, the care kind of goes out the window. Oshinoko, the manga, we've seen what happens with the manga. The two lead main roles characters for the manga completion and creation, they've wiped their hands off of it and let it go and let it be. They don't want to develop nothing. They want to just continue with their lives. I don't know what happens, bro.
They don't, they say, like, you shouldn't work for them, and it's going to spread, and then people are not going to find it worth it. And I feel like a lot of people within Japan, they probably hear about these horror stories of, these jobs being an animator and stuff, and how it's very low pay, a lot of hours, you're not treated right, you're basically treated like almost a slave, pretty much. It's very clear why, there is just an overall issue, why they are losing animators back to back, multiple different studios are. But getting into the main central focus here, 100 Girlfriends and Akane Yano, and how they are currently basically distressed and talking about the countdown of despair has begun, what's going on here?
No, once you hear an animator say countdown of despair, yeah, it's donezo. You know that the company, they messed up. They didn't do the vision of the animators. They did the vision of what's the quickest way, the cheapest way, and let's get this thing out. That means this season might die on season 2. Oh my gosh, that's so sad.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know too much about this individual. I know they have worked on quite a few projects in the past, which, I'll pull it up here. They have worked on 100 Girlfriends, as you can see here. They worked on Prima Doll. They worked on Jakku. They've worked on Goblin Slayer. They've been in the
Big
industry for
studios.
a pretty good long
Yeah.
while. I mean, you can trace this
Big
all the way back to
studios.
basically 2013 when they started really working on stuff, and they have definitely worked on some pretty good shows
Yeah,
that
big
I have
studios.
watched and I have legitimately enjoyed. So they aren't necessarily someone that is like, small time animator. They are very well known in the
Mm.
industry. Maybe not massively known, but they still are.
But it's a voice is still it still matters, In this industry of ours is big but small, but yeah, her voice still matters.
Someone that has built quite a portfolio in the anime industry and have done a very good job. I mean, they have definitely done a very good job with the character designs for 100 Girlfriends for season 1, because as you can see, they also worked as the character designer for season 1. They were even the chief animation director and a key
Wow.
animator of episode 1 and 3 of
Wow.
100 Girlfriends season 1, which were legitimately
That's
amazing
good.
episodes.
Yeah.
So we fast forward to season 2. Obviously, they picked up their role once again for being a character designer of the show, but also the chief animation director.
Once you hear the chief animation director complaining, that's when you know. Whatever the producers or the directors did, yeah, it's bad.
So, when you see posts like this from a chief animation director, obviously talking
Mm.
about the project they're currently working on, I mean, you can literally see it in their banner on their profile. It's very clear that they're talking about 100 Girlfriends. It's just there's no other way to really take it. The countdown to doom and all that, the despair and stuff. It's very clear they're talking about the show that is set to air. Now, here's the thing. At first glance, when you look at 100 Girlfriends, it doesn't appear to have any issues. I mean, like, the
Mm.
trailers and stuff has looked really solid. There is nothing that really indicates any issues whatsoever. I mean, when you look at, let's say, what I covered yesterday with, like, Sakamoto Days, obviously there's indication that there could theoretically be some issues, but once again, the first episode hasn't come out yet. But when
Yeah.
you take a look at 100 Girlfriends, overall, everyone that's talked about the show so far, season 1 to now the stuff that we've seen so far of season 2, it's been relatively positive. There's been
True.
basically no negativity around it besides just this that came out literally this morning.
That's
There's
crazy.
been nothing. It's been basically sweeping positivity. People love the songs. People love the voice acting we've seen so far, the visual department. So seeing this, it's just like concerning because it's like, is there going to be issues that's going to arise and appear while
Yeah, she knows something we don't, basically. Because how can the chief animation director be saying, yo, despair is coming? Like, that's crazy, dude. Like, you can't stop crying. Can't stop crying about what? Like, what does she know that we don't?
all the seasons coming out? Because it's like maybe the first 2 episodes, maybe even the first 3 episodes will look pretty good, but then the quality will slowly spiral and it'll spiral out of control where it might have to get delayed, it might have to be pushed back, it might just have a complete breakdown to where maybe the art animation has to be sacrificed just to be able to get the episodes out. Looking at you, Blue Lock, there's a lot of examples
Yeah,
of what
Blue Lock.
theoretically could go wrong, and I feel bad for a variety of individuals that are associated with this project because obviously, when you have the chief animation director basically making statements like this, that's a big red flag. That is
Yeah.
not a small flag. This isn't like a little blip. This is a
Nope.
huge flag that needs to be taken notice of and talked about because it's like when you have someone that's just so high up in the pecking order for this project, obviously.
And they are complaining. Dude, that's when you know things are bad. Yo, bro. I don't know what happens with animation, dude. These guys, they figure out how to do a season 1. I think season 1, they do it under no pressure. Then season 2, they have a year. And that year, I don't know what happens. The producer just mismanages, I don't know, dude. They can have all the money in the world. Blue Lock, for example. They had the biggest selling manga. They did a movie. After they did a movie, season 2 was just abysmal. You can't tell me your whole season and only one episode is good. How do you have a whole season and only one episode is good? No, bro, come on.
They're not
That's
like a CEO.
that's literally Uzumaki. Same thing. Adult Swim. Oh my gosh, Adult Swim is also another company where they have all the money, they have everything, but I don't know, for them they just don't see anime as a profit, for them. They just do episode 1 amazing, then the rest they just like, just throw whatever.
They're not the production committee, but when there are a chief animation director saying this, that's not good at all. So, What can be done? Well, I've talked about this a lot over the years. I've talked about, animators being mistreated and how they're not, paid enough and all this type of stuff. I've talked about this until basically I've been blue in the face. It is something that fundamentally is going to eventually going to have to be changed. It's going to be a long time until it probably does,
A
but I
long
think before
time.
anything is truthfully changed, it's going to get much worse before it changes. Like, there's
Mm.
probably going to be systematically complete destruction of
Yeah,
maybe a lot of projects in anime just coming crashing
yeah,
down and having.
yeah. It needs to blow. Like that's the whole thing. I feel like it needs to go in the same phase of the gaming industry. You know that okay, cool. Like I don't know, dude. Like I don't know what happens because like it's just crazy, man. These studios they will have such an incredible season one. I'm telling you, their season ones will be off the charts. Some animes like in back in the days they wouldn't even be able to achieve a season one, but nowadays their season ones are amazing. But then the problems start coming season two. Season two, if it's not season two, it's season three. That's when the problems happen. We saw with Dan Michi. We have no idea what's happening with Dan Michi. These guys are like, we have no idea when it's gonna come out. It's just crazy, man.
Complete production meltdowns before things are truly ever changed. I mean, one studio in particular that tries to rise to the challenge and has bettered their employees a lot is, KyoAni. I mean, they have always gotten praise from the anime community and the anime industry on how they treat people, and I feel like, this type of stuff obviously is the more normal instead of what happens with KyoAni, where they actually treat their employees right. And I think that before anything ever fixes itself and before animators can actually get better pay and better treatment, it just the whole culture of just the way this stuff is done
Yeah, it
has to
needs to
actually
go.
fundamentally shift. There has to
Mm,
be probably laws put in place in Japan to really back these animators up and employees and stuff, not to be treated as badly as they're done, but also try to incentivize to be an animator and feel like it's
mm.
actually worth it in the end.
True.
But getting back into the main point with Akane Yano, I feel incredibly devastated seeing this because it's
It's
like it's once
devastating.
again another example of just the horrible working conditions as an animator in Japan, and this once again gives like credibility to why there's just so much outsourcing, why you have so many different like, companies and studios within Japan outsourcing their products to different animation studios around the world because they just don't have enough animators to work on their projects anymore.
Mm.
And that's what's happening. And as this continues to happen and more people just drop down like flies and not want to work on this anymore, you're going to have more issues. We're going to have inconsistencies between episodes because of obviously outsourcing. But
And
yeah,
that's a shame, man. That's a shame. One of our my favorite industries does does terrible mismanagement. This is basically mismanagement, you know. I wonder what happens. That's the one thing which I'm always wondering. What happens for it to be like this? Like what happens, you know?
I wanted to bring this up. I hate to be the bearer of bad news about 100 Girlfriends, but
Scary.
I obviously I want to talk about this. This is definitely something that a lot of people should be aware of because I mean, 100 Girlfriends is airing literally in less than a week from now, and a
Imagine.
lot of people are excited. So
Mm.
maybe we should take
I'm also excited. I was thinking we're going to have another top tier anime. But yeah, we shall see, you know?
our expectations a little bit because of just this. Obviously, this could just be maybe a false alarm, but what, like I said, and I've
Maybe
said it already a few times in this video, when you
it's
have someone
highly
so high up
unlikely.
that is a chief
Mm.
animation director, that's not someone small. This is not just a
Mm.
regular animator or a freelancer. This is someone that's actively attached to the product and is in charge of the animation direction and stuff. So,
Ah, what a concerning video. Hi, we shall see. We shall see what her concerns. Of course, I'm gonna give my reaction to that anime, 100 Girlfriends, in a week's time. But yeah, man, it's just very concerning. Very concerning. Such a big anime is gonna have a big problem. So we shall see. I don't know what's gonna happen. You know, we shall see what's gonna happen. If it hopefully it won't go into a terrible direction. But hey man, who knows? Like we don't know. So yeah, guys. You guys tell me how you guys feel. Very concerning situation. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.